Hello everyone! In this video, we'll talk about a concept known as maps of reality and how we can use it to achieve real change in our lives. Let's begin. This video is sponsored by Freyr's Happiness Project. Check the link in the description. In my previous videos, we have looked at how perception determines the way we experience our reality. We have learned about projections and their role in forming what we call our lives. Today, we will be exploring this topic on a deeper level. Have you ever wondered why certain events and situations cause you to react strongly and seem to occur regularly throughout your life? Have you ever listened to your friends sharing their misfortunes, but couldn't quite relate, as their experience feels either way too far off or completely outside your spectrum of worries? Has it brought up any sense of separation and misunderstanding? If your answer is yes, then most likely you have experienced the effects of something known as maps of reality. If we stop for a moment and really look at the way we perceive things and situations, we would notice that it's not the events themselves that cause a reaction within us, but rather a story we associate them with. All the way since we were little kids, we've been busy weaving webs of stories about ourselves, the world, and the people around us. By the time we are all grown up and off to live our own lives, we manage to create a fairly solid and intricate picture of what the world is like and what we can expect to happen at any given moment. We are able to make complex predictions about the future, and that is something that separates us from the rest of the species on our planet and puts us higher on the evolutionary chain. And this same capability is what traps us and makes personal change so difficult and confusing. One of the defining characteristics of a firm belief is that it is self-reinforcing. We tend to see what we believe in and find proof through filtering the observable data and comparing it to our past experiences. More often than not, our circle of closest friends share similar beliefs, so we end up getting additional confirmation when interacting with them. All of this pretty much leaves us stuck in a maze of our own making, repeating the same patterns of reaction and not being able to see the things from a different perspective. What makes it so hard to escape this cycle, even when you are aware of your engagement in it, is the fact that our core beliefs are deeply rooted within our bodies on a neurological level. We don't just see images when we think about something. We feel emotions, hear, feel, and taste things. Through our investment, a belief becomes our map of reality, and it determines the way we react to situations. A thought is harmless unless we believe it. It's not our thoughts, but our attachment to our thoughts that causes suffering. Attaching to a thought means believing that it's true, without inquiring. A belief is a thought that we've been attaching to, often for years. A good illustration of that would be cross-cultural relationships and marriages. Due to different upbringing and environment, we end up having different ideas about love, respect, and intimacy. These are some of the most vulnerable areas of our psyche, so we do tend to feel more defensive and vigilant when we perceive a potential threat. Without being aware that our partner might not share our map of reality, we can be prone to having constant misunderstandings and eventually come to a conclusion that we aren't being loved and respected. That being said, something like that is also as common for the people who grew up in the same town as for those who come from two different continents. Given that we are dealing with our own perceptions and projections rather than objective reality, a person carrying around the belief that they are always disrespected and misunderstood would be bound to relive this scenario over and over again. However, despite the menacing sound of that, it is actually a blessing in disguise, as it means that each situation that brings us discomfort has the same core issues wrapped in a different form. And if we know how to address those issues, we can make sure that we remove all the situations of this nature from our experience once and for all. To move forward, you must figure out exactly what is obstructing you. Whatever it isn't really there. It has no reality, no substance. It's your own creation, a phantom lurking in the shadows of your mind, a shadow demon. Your abstractions are your demons, and your demons are shadow dwellers. They live and thrive in the half-light of ignorance. So the way to slay a demon is by illuminating it with the full force and power of your focused attention, by looking at it hard. Banish shadow with light and see for yourself that no abstraction exists, nor ever did. We create our demons and we feed them. To awaken, we must slay them. That's really the whole process. Slay one demon, take one step, repeat. As you might have guessed from this quote, the way forward isn't aimed at changing our external conditions. To effect real change in our lives, we have to look within. We have to choose a tool that works best for us and turn our gaze inwards. We need to take responsibility for our reactions and realize through serious self-inquiry and inner work that our misfortune is never the fault of that other person. Only when we are fully committed to inquire into every belief we thought was true would we start making real progress towards leaving the maze of confusion. I would like to end this video with a quote from Byron Katie, the person who came up with my preferred method of self-inquiry, the work. Since the beginning of time, people have been trying to change the world so that they can be happy. This hasn't ever worked because it approaches the problem backward. What the work gives us is a way to change the projector, mind, rather than the projected. It's like when there is a piece of lint on a projector's lens. We think there is a flaw on the screen, and we try to change this person and that person, whomever the flaw appears on next. But it's futile to try and change the projected images. Once we realize where the lint is, we can clear the lens itself. This is the end of suffering and the beginning of the little joy in a paradise. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know in the comment section which sort of core issues you have to deal with and which methods prove to be the most efficient ones. If you liked the video, please leave a like and subscribe. It will help the channel to grow and cover more interesting topics. See you in the next video.